Elliott's soon to be 6 years old. He's our youngest of 3 kids, and he was born early at Children's Mercy Hospital here in Kansas City and spent almost 2 months in the NICU. We learned while he was in the NICU that he has a rare genetic syndrome called Pallister-Killian Syndrome, PKS. And then we subsequently learned that he has a secondary diagnosis of autism. And those factors all lead to physical and cognitive disabilities. And that's where the journey started. Day one there in Children's Mercy, and it's been a learning experience ever since. Elliott now is a 5-year-old boy with autism, and he's at Autism from the Start and obtaining ABA therapy services there. He spent a fair amount of time at Leanne Britton Child Development Center where we met, which was phenomenal. And that's it. He's a young boy who's very active and already, I think, exceeding and has exceeded what I thought he would be able to do. So the sky's the limit for him. He was in a crib since he was able to be in a crib up until this year at age 5, I guess really up until July when we obtained the safety bed. And you understand how it is to have kids, and particularly a child with a disability or needs. One thing leads to the other, and then all of a sudden a couple of years have gone by and you've got a 5-year-old that's still sleeping in a crib, right? So we started researching, the next steps and what would be available for us out there. And when insurance was not able to come through, Variety, of course, stepped in. And he immediately realized and had great pride in his bed. He knows it's his bed. He's happy to show people his bed. I know when you all came out and I was out of town, but he's excited and has a lot of pride in that, and he likes to show it off. And it is a lot of room for him to really move around at night. It's his own spot, and he's contained. And it is a major safety issue, an elopement issue with him. But I think particularly with him and his diagnosis with autism, it provides not only the physical safety and security, but the mental well-being of being enclosed, and his mind has a very contained space and environment that he has to deal with and worry about. And it's not the entire universe of the bedroom that's completely overwhelming, at least at this point in his life, and probably for a long time will be.
Well, and just the peace of mind knowing that when he's in his safety bed, he's safe, and I can sleep and not have to wake up and worry could he have fallen out of a crib, or could he have gotten out of his bedroom and outside? And, it's just a huge peace of mind. When we received the diagnosis in the NICU, it was extremely overwhelming, and you just feel very isolated, and you just don't know where to turn, what to do. And so over the years we've been dealing with this, we've found support groups through Facebook. We found other parents that are going through the same situation with having a rare diagnosis. Finding Variety KC, which provides all of these events that you do around the city. We love going to those events because we feel like we belong there, It's hard when you're in public with a child with a disability, feeling like you need to keep them quiet, or, am I disturbing somebody else? And so when Variety puts together these events, we're like, oh, we can be ourselves, this is great.
It's important because it allows all members of the society to be able to interact with one another. And for families like ours who happen to have a child with a disability, sometimes what can be perceived as the easiest of things can be very difficult. So arriving to a park, parking your vehicle, getting out the specialized stroller, assembling outside your vehicle, pushing the kid up or your child up a sidewalk that is now accessible, as opposed to some facilities that aren't. getting to something to like a playground where it's safe for individuals that have disabilities versus those facilities that don't. That's our experience every day, anywhere we go, to include this morning when we take our kids to the bakery and have to disassemble and reassemble a stroller and can't fit it back to the table.
Well, and it limits to what you feel like you can go out in the community and do. You know, like not every place is set up that way. So you get to a place and you're like, well, I don't think this will be a place we'll be able to, you know, come back to. It's just not set up. Well, and I can't tell you how many times you go into a public restroom and you need to change a poopy diaper and your child is too big for the changing station that is there. So you're either going back to your car so you don't have to lay them onto the floor, or you're laying them on the floor, or you're having to find a place to change a diaper.
I think something that Variety does that is very important, and it's sort of an ancillary benefit, is for these family members, whether it be grandparents, but in particular the siblings to children with disabilities, that can go meet other siblings of who have a sibling with a disability, because that's a very small slice of the pie of the population. And there's so much of our attention that is focused on our child, Elliott, who has a disability, that sometimes I feel like that niche need of these children can go overlooked. So it has meant, and I think we've taken that for granted, but when we're at events and our girls, Allison and Samantha, meet other kids that are out there who also are living with a sibling with disabilities and are going through those daily difficulties that are just normal life for these kiddos, they have something in common, and I think that's wonderful. We're extremely grateful for Variety KC. We're glad to be a part of it.